Welcome back to the Driveway Beers podcast with Mike and Alex. As always, we appreciate you listening. Please rate us on all the podcast platforms. Like, subscribe, comment, share wherever else you're listening, and enjoy the show. Welcome back to another episode. We appreciate you coming back as always. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share wherever you're listening to us. If you're on Apple or Spotify, definitely shoot us a star rating, whether you like us or not. 1 star is just as good as 5, though we prefer the 5. I want to thank Adam Chubbuck with Douglas Realty up in Pasadena, Maryland. That's tacmd.com. That's tacmd.com. I want to thank Adam for sponsoring this show as always. With the winter time rolling around, the uncertainty in the real estate market, you definitely want to talk to a professional that has your concerns as his top priority. So go over to tacmd.com, talk to Adam, and see what he can do for you. All right, so we've talked a few times about shows and movies we like. We did our top movies, top shows. Now we're going to do the ones we absolutely hate. Now this is going to be around December-ish. We're putting this out. So I got a feeling some Christmas ones are going to be in here.
Yeah, pretty much all of them for me. Bah humbug.
I don't know. Josh is here again.
What's up?
I said that kind of rudely.
You did. Again.
Yeah.
He just won't leave. Keeps coming back.
Lives in my basement.
It's warm down here.
It's hot though. Like what the hell? I don't know why, but I'm hot down here. This should be the coolest room in my house.
Yes, it should.
But anyway, I gave him very little notice as to what this show was going to be.
Listen, I'm like Han Solo, man. I shoot from the hip.
Is Solo one of your...
No, it's not.
No? Okay, I just wondered. So we're going to go through movies, TV shows that we just did not like, couldn't get into, or just plain don't even want to look at.
TVs or movies.
TVs or movies.
Correct.
No particular order. I got a feeling some of these are going to be... Someone's going to say something like, fine, I never even heard that shit. But
Yeah, not much thought was put into this.
yeah.
So,
I mean, this is more... The funny thing is, like, I think... Normally, I'm probably more of the Grinch of the two of us. But I think when it comes to, like, movies... And well, I mean... I'm going to say movies and holidays...
yes.
You're probably more Grinchy than me.
Correct.
So this might be more up your alley than mine.
And I also don't watch a whole lot of them, just because by the time we get back from whatever practice or game we're at, I just want to go to bed. So I don't sit there and watch shows. Now, my wife will lay in bed and watch her shows on her phone. And then, but of course, it's like this super, the phone volume's turned all the way up, so it's super tinny and loud and irritating. But yeah, I don't watch a whole lot of them either. So, you see that movie? Nope, I haven't seen it. So
I've got some that are going to be controversial. Ones that people generally like that I just don't get, or I just don't like. So, I'll start us off strong.
Okay, here we go.
I cannot stand the Monty Python movies.
I want to make a confession. I've never seen them.
Okay.
I've never seen them.
We're off to a hot start.
But go ahead.
Holy Grail's amusing. But I can see where if you don't like that type of British humor, you might not, yeah. Like when the knight gets all his limbs chopped off and he's still trying to fight.
So, like, I would say Monty Python is probably closer to Mel Brooks type movies. Which I love Mel Brooks movies just because I felt like it wasn't as slapsticky. It was more like his comedy kind of flowed with the movie more, I thought. Like when he did Spaceballs, all the jokes were in line with like Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Right? It made sense, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with like Monty Python, I felt like it was just slapstick for slapstick's sake. Like even when he did when Mel Brooks did like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, or Men in Tights, mm-hmm.
Tights.
Right. But like the story was still intact. Right?
I like that. I like that movie.
Yeah.
But I felt like Mel Brooks did the Monty Python type humor, the slapstick humor, just a lot better. Mm-hmm. He kept the movie a movie, but it was super funny the way he did it. So I've got buddies that love the Monty Python stuff, like swear by it. Uh-huh. And I'm just like, yeah, I think it's fucking stupid. So I think that's going to be...
Well, I hate him too.
Well, you can't hate him, can you?
Like, if I want to back you up, man, I'll back you up blindly.
That's true. I shouldn't.
Right, I got your back, brother.
Yeah, man.
My parents liked Monty Python, so like they'd watch it.
I feel like, listen, I've seen clips, right? I'm not going to say like I don't know what it is. Like I've never seen it, and it does seem it's very, to me, the vibe I get is it's old humor.
Yeah, it's almost like watching an old episode of Saturday Night Live.
You know, yeah.
So like, you know, my parents would like die laughing at like Gilda Radner, and I'm like, this isn't funny at all.
Yeah.
So
we're like Men in Tights and Spaceballs, you know, things like that. Like it's more modern. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why I have a feeling that's why it's easier to appreciate them and not have a taste for his older stuff.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go a little bit different direction. I can't stand Tommy Boy, Black Sheep. I can't stand them.
No.
They're the same movie.
Oh no.
Same exact movie. Now there are some funny lines in it and funny movie quotes, but overall the movie shit. I also don't like most Adam Sandler movies because they're all the same. It's just Adam Sandler like it's.
So I'm gonna partially agree with you. So I feel like Tommy Boy, when I first watched it, was hilarious. Mm-hmm. When I watch it now, I'm kind of like, I can't, like, it's almost like I can't believe I like this that
It's just
much.
David Spade being an asshole.
Yeah, that's true.
And, you know, just being mean to Chris Farley.
But I mean, and I like that kind of humor. But after a while, like this, I don't know, something about it, I'm just like, and like when they did, because they did Black Sheep together too.
Mm-hmm. And they're pretty much the same movie.
It was almost the same, yeah. And I was just like, this is kind of like I don't know. Like you're right. After you've seen it, it's like I've seen it. It's not like Shawshank Redemption where I'm going to watch it over and over and over again, and I'm going to love it every time, right? And I kind of agree with you on the Adam Sandler movies. Like when I watched it the first time, I thought it was awesome. Mm-hmm. It's not something you watch over and over and over again. Now I will say this: Adam Sandler's movies, as of late, are completely different, and I think it's amazing.
I like his, like, he did that basketball movie.
What was that? It wasn't Uncut Gems.
He finds a player and he's working as a scout for the 76ers.
Yes.
And then
I know exactly what you're
wants to commit to this one player, but they don't like him, so he quits his job to kind of like get this kid in, and it works. And the kid actually
talking about hustle.
Yes. The kid actually played in, and I like sports movies like that. Like I really enjoyed Moneyball, Draft Day. Like
reminds you of Blue Chips.
Yeah,
do you remember that movie?
Great movie.
Mm-hmm. Great movie.
Great movie.
That's what that movie reminded me of.
And I like his. And then he was in another movie that kind of bombed. He was playing a comedian that had some sort of terminal disease.
I hated that fucking movie.
I actually liked it,
but I have my own reason for hating that movie.
Yeah. So
I don't like Seth Rogen though either.
See, I like some of Seth Rogen's stuff.
Like when he him and like Sausage Party and some of the other shit. Dude, he sucks.
I love Sausage Party.
I can't stand that. Like his laugh drives me nuts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't.
I have a friend who I actually have him in my phone as Seth Rogen because his laugh sounds just like Seth Rogen. That's not his name at all. Mm-hmm. So,
it's just I don't know, man. That guy, I don't know what it is about that guy. I just can't stand him.
Yeah, I think I liked him because like he came up with that whole Judd Apatow crew and
right.
And you know, so those movies were good. I don't think we're going to see any. Well, Stavros Halkis has a movie coming out. Maybe the comedy's back.
Should we join a cult?
Yeah,
I saw it.
Was that good?
It's if you don't like Tommy Boy, you won't. He's Chris Farley coming back.
Yeah,
basically.
I like that guy. I think I like Uncle Ronnie the best.
I love when he does Uncle Ronnie.
Yeah,
but I've watched his stand up and I've watched him in this movie. Mm-hmm. It's got some, like, the movie's got some funny parts, but the whole time you're like, this is fucking stupid, man. I can't believe I'm watching this.
And I also think with him, though, because he's a local guy, like, there's a bit of that, you know, because I'm a homer, so, like, he's, you know, he grew up he's born in Greektown, like, you know.
So he went on Theo Von's podcast. Mm-hmm. Dude, he was, like, spouting off the Kamala Harris playbook.
He's a real lefty.
I had never heard him talk politics before. I heard, like, I was like, dude, you are coming straight out of the playbook. Like, I didn't know you were that. And he's like the type of guy that'll say something like, and it's a fact, man. Like, Stabby butting.
Yeah.
You got to get off.
Go back to doing drugs. And Uncle Ronnie.
Go back to being stupid because that's your lane.
The Steelers fucking suck, yo. I love he has the accent.
Hilarious with that.
Tabitha, I want my kids back.
You'll probably like that cult movie. It's not Uncle Ronnie, but it's kind of that little bit of humor. It's just he gets annoying after a while.
He has that giggle that kind of in his stand-up shows. It's like, okay, you know, but a lot of what he gives you for free is just the audience interactions because they're not giving their real stuff out for free.
There's another guy like Nate Jackson. So Nate Jackson does really good crowd interaction. Mm-hmm. Him and Matt Rife are probably two of the best at crowd interactions that I've seen. Stavi's nowhere near that though. Like, he fills a niche as far as comedy goes.
Yeah,
but I don't know, dude. Like, I don't think I'd pay money to go see him. I will plug his show. He's doing a show in Baltimore, although it will be 2 weeks ago from when this gets put out. He's got a 2025 tour coming out. But Baltimore ain't on that list.
All right, I'm gonna go with you. You guys went in the past a little bit. I'm going brand new. Ryan Gosling in the movie's called Fall Guy.
Okay,
it's brand new. Right, I couldn't believe how terrible this movie was.
Really?
So me and my girl were like, "Hey, let's sit down. Let's watch a movie." Right? So we sit down. I don't even know how we picked this one. I think she picked it. Right? I'm so glad that she did. I was so glad that she did, and I didn't be the one to pick it out. Like, and so we're watching. So Ryan Gosling is like a stunt guy, and like. The main actor, like this movie star, disappears, and he's gonna find like nothing made sense to me in this movie. We watched the whole thing. The whole time, I'm like, this sucks. And thankfully, at the end, we both just kind of looked at each other and was like, that movie was terrible. But and I couldn't. I was so quick. I had to jump on my phone to get validation. I was like, oh, this movie. It has like an 80-something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
I don't understand who out there likes this movie. I didn't. Truth be told, I didn't even know about it. Right, and when I said it, you know, the look that you gave Mike was like, I may have heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. Alex kind of made it seem like he knows about it a little bit. Did you?
Fall Guy? I've heard how bad it was.
Okay, so good.
But that's why I
do not watch. Do not watch this movie. I don't understand. Like, none of it made sense to me. I mean, whatever. I got that. We were hanging out. It was what it was. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing more I can say about it. So if you're listening out there and you haven't seen Fall Guy, don't. And if you did, I feel for you. I'm with you.
It's interesting. So like. Ryan Gosling actually had a string of movies he did. So, I mean, I believe he was in The Notebook a long time ago.
You believe he was in The Notebook?
I'm looking now, man.
He wasn't. No, that was definitely him.
Okay. But then he did some movies like, what was it? So he did The Big Short, Murder by Numbers.
Big Short, great movie, by the way. I really, but we're not on that topic.
First Man.
I don't know that.
Lars and the Real Girl.
Don't know that one.
Fracture.
Don't know that one.
He was also in Remember the Titans.
Yeah, he was a liability at cornerback, if you recall. I don't remember what his character's name was, but Jesus Christ. I mean, all that they picked him apart the whole game. What a gosh. Ugh.
Crazy Stupid Love. Which, if you haven't seen that movie, see it. It's
okay.
In fact, watch it with your lady.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because it gives you an excuse to watch it.
Okay.
It's pretty funny. It's him and Steve Carell.
Oh, I love Steve Carell.
So
I think. Wait, is this like one of them is like a dad and
Yes.
the other one's not? I think I've seen clips of that.
He starts dating Steve Carell's daughter.
Yes.
They don't know though. The wife's leaving Steve Carell. So he goes. So he's talking to him about advice on his life. Meanwhile, he's dating his daughter.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Good movie. But the last few movies. Well, not the last few, but then he did like Barbie.
Did Barbie?
The Fall Guy.
Ugh.
La La Land.
I don't see that one.
And like there were and The Nice Guys. I don't like The Nice Guys.
I don't know what
Because
I don't know if I know that one.
he plays like this dumbass in these movies. And it's like he's trying to go for that comedic dumbass kind of thing. Don't get me wrong, I thought he was kind of funny in Barbie. But it's like, man, like when you see him in some of these other movies that he's done, he does a really nice job. It's like why are you
Even in The Big Short, he was a serious player in that movie, but still like a comedian.
right?
You know, I mean, he was like, you know, like the frat guy, the frat boy. He was like, you know, and that was fine. I'm not saying it was a bad role or he played it bad, but like,
But it was probably within the character. Like in Crazy Stupid Love, the comedy was within the character, right? Like it's believable the character would say these things. It wasn't like just being stupid to be stupid. I wish he would go back to making good stuff because he's not a bad actor, and you know the ladies think he's nice on the eyes, so that's all right. Yeah. So I don't know. That's what I gotta say about him.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with a clump of movies that I hate. It's actually a director. Anything by Tim Burton.
Oh yeah,
I can't stand it.
I agree 100%.
Like,
okay, so let's name them. Nightmare Before Christmas.
hate it.
Madeline? No, not Madeline.
I don't. That's the only one I know.
Coraline.
Coraline.
Hate
Thank
it.
you.
Edward Scissorhands.
Come
I
on.
hate it.
Oh no.
I like that.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Whoa,
Hate it.
come on.
Okay, now I might have to flip flop.
Yeah. So his shit just creeps
So
me out.
really, we just don't like Nightmare Before Christmas.
And Coraline.
I don't know about that, but Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice. Come on.
It's just I think it's the way he does the way the way the colors are, the way the sets are designed, like it's not realistic. Like it's just these weird. It's like a bad dream. Like I can't stand it.
I can
And they
see
creep
that,
me out.
though.
I don't have any desire. Like the new Beetlejuice came out, no desire to see it.
I just don't need to see that.
I could see it with like the Nightmare Before Christmas. I could see that, and I could see it with Coraline. That's got that weird kind of claymation shit going on. Edward Scissorhands, I literally just watched that with the girls like 2 weeks ago. I thought it held up.
See, I was just going to say I haven't seen it in so long. I wonder how it would appeal to me now.
Yeah.
Because when you get to sit down and watch Edward Scissorhands, apparently Alex has time to do that.
I do.
If it came on, it was the only thing to watch on TV. I'd turn it off.
So all right. So you know how you have the things you do with your kids, like you got everyone's got a thing. Like
Everyone's got a thing.
like, you go, I don't know, like ice cream every Friday or whatever. Whatever it is, you know. Well, for me and my girls, we watch movies.
Okay.
And there's only after you watch movies that have just come out, they don't really put them out as often as they used to. So at least ones that kids can watch. So what we do is we find like older movies that are rated appropriately for the kids, and we watch some of the older stuff. I'm not talking like old westerns or Casablanca or anything like that. I mean, stuff
Like
from
90s.
Stuff
Yeah.
from our age, when we were kids, or growing up or whatever. And they've held up for the most part. Although we're starting to watch Iron Man. We're gonna start with the Marvel movies with the girls. So,
All right, now I'm getting excited.
So the first one. So my wife, she's a stickler on the order in which you watch them.
A release order.
I think
Release order.
it's supposed to be timeline order.
Release order. No, because that's like saying you watch Star Wars in timeline order and you just completely get spoiled by who Darth Vader is. Like, you watch it in release order because there's some things that you don't know until it's like, bam, in your face, right? But if you watched episodes 1, 2, and 3 before 4, 5, and 6...
You might not watch 4, 5, and 6 because 1, 2, and 3 sucked.
Well, not only... But yeah, but what I'm saying is, though, is that the reveal...
Put that on the hate list.
You know, when you find out that Luke and Layla are brother and sister, when you find out that Darth Vader is, you know, I am your father.
Yeah, you miss that.
Like you don't get that payoff when you watch it in timeline order.
I think it
makes sense though when you watch it in timeline order.
But I think it makes sense because it's in timeline order. But
that was when Empire Strikes Back came out, and it was, Luke, I am your father, and like that was a bomb that dropped. Like people talked about that. And I think if you go in timeline order, the first time you see it, you lose that moment. So I think the first time anyone watches Star Wars, it should be in release order. And then if you want to like see the whole story at once, then go back and do it again in timeline order.
But there was a reason why they released the middle 3 originally. It's because they thought those were the only 3 that were worth making movies on.
Yeah,
absolutely. But still, first off, I want to jump out on a thing. Mm-hmm. Darth Vader never says, Luke, I am your father.
What does he say?
He says, no, I am your father.
Okay.
But society, pop culture, everything.
Yeah.
What do they say? Anytime someone quotes that, what do they do? Right? That's just a useless piece of knowledge, right? That's my fictional knowledge that I know. Like he never says, Luke, I am your father. But everyone says that.
And Tommy Boy does. He says it to the fan.
But you know, listen, I agree, right? Yeah, they released 4, 5, and 6. They never thought they were going to release 1, 2, and 3, even though the storyline already exists. But if you watch it in chronological order, like if you watch it, well, first of all, if you watch it. See, technically, you're not even watching in chronological order because some of the movies jump back to before even Iron Man 1, so it's really tough. But listen, I'm a fan of release order. Mm-hmm. Listen, whatever floats your boat.
I also don't think it's that different. I think a couple movies kind of get flipped around here and there, but I don't think it's that different.
So, would you know?
I've never seen a single one of them. So
okay, well, that's your fault. Would you know that Bucky was the Winter Soldier? If you watched it in timeline order. I'm trying to think. So in Civil War's after Winter Soldier, is there a movie? I don't know.
So I'll say this. I've watched it in the order that she's told me to watch it in with her. It makes sense to me that way. Okay. So maybe.
Well, do you lose anything? And this is coming from someone who hasn't seen a single one of those movies start to finish. Do you lose something by watching it in timeline order? And what do you lose?
Versus release? Or
yeah. Okay. So like Star Wars, you lose that moment in Empire Strikes Back. You also lose like when it seems like Luke and Leia are the love interest and like there's that love triumph and they're like, oh wait, in Return of the Jedi, it's like, oh wait, that's his sister.
Wait a minute. You said you're starting this journey by Iron Man 1?
So we've already done it, but now we're introducing the girls to it.
So why wouldn't you watch
with Iron Man?
Why wouldn't you start with Captain America: The First Avenger?
Because wasn't Iron Man the first movie released, or maybe that's
you're saying timeline.
So maybe that's the first one in the timeline.
Captain America fought in World War II,
but it goes back in time. Like it's showing you. There are websites that know what this is.
Okay.
We go with what the website says.
All right, man. Listen.
Would the internet lie?
Yes.
Of course.
No, I mean, like I said, it's all open for interpretation. Like, listen, it's cool. Listen, either way, it's an incredible journey that I'm so disappointed because it has, we're getting way off topic, but this has never been done before. There is nothing ever in the history of this universe, to our knowledge, that has a cinematic universe that has 25 plus movies, all connected, all the same characters, except for Don Cheadle, and the guy that plays Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, right? But like that's why I like Marvel over DC, because like every 2 years there's a new Batman. Every 2 years, like
that's another one I'm not
you
into.
live with Tony Stark. You live with Robert Downey Jr. for 10 plus years. I mean, and then it all comes up. It builds up to this huge climax that is Infinity War and Endgame, and it's just nothing compares to that. And it's just, oh God, if I could go back and not erase my memory of all those movies and see them again for the first time, like I would pay. Not a lot because I'm cheap, but I would. I'd be interested. I'd be interested. But I'll tell you what. And I've already started watching with some of my boys. You know, we've watched a lot of them. But so like that's awesome.
It's a good way to have movie night with the kids.
And you got plenty to watch. You got plenty to watch, brother.
The ones since this is an episode on what we don't like, though.
Yeah, we should.
All right. So, of the DC movies...
Oh, DC? All of them. All of them.
The original Batman with Michael Keaton as Batman. I like that one.
You know what? I was talking today about this just before I got over here, actually. I had a conversation. I don't know if I've ever watched a Batman movie from start to finish.
Not even the first one?
Like, what's the first one?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton?
Yeah.
Is that with the Joker? With Jack Nicklaus?
Penguin. Oh.
No.
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito was a penguin.
Yeah, that was the original. Wasn't it?
I saw one in the theater when I was a little kid.
Either way, I haven't. I don't think so.
I'm just not into it.
I don't think I've ever seen a Batman movie from start to finish.
I'm not into any of that comic book stuff. So, you know, all that's it just doesn't do anything for me.
And well, I think Alex is looking up to see which one was what. And I'll tell you what, that's the difference between like DC. Like when you think of superheroes, right? Batman, Superman, right? Mm-hmm. Those are the superheroes, right? Where Marvel took kind of like lower level guys, like Iron Man, like Hawkeye, Black Widow, Thor. Like these weren't like. If you went back to the 90s and you no one would ever list these guys. But like today, who's your favorite superhero? I would say more often than not, you're going to get someone from Marvel. The answer is going to be someone from Marvel versus, and yeah, I can't. I don't like DC. I wanted to like DC. I wish they got their stuff together. I wish they kept consistent actors for their characters. But they can't.
Is Wolverine?
He's Marvel.
Wolverine's. What about Spider-Man?
Spider-Man's Marvel.
Now he is.
Now he is. Well, no. He's always been Marvel, but like Sony owned Spider-Man. Still does, but now they recognize that Disney's just killing it, right? So they're like, oh, let's work together. Wolverine, Fox had the X-Men and Wolverine, but then Fox sold it back to Disney, right? Which gives us Deadpool. I say us, right? But which gives Disney Deadpool, Wolverine. We just had Deadpool and Wolverine together in a movie for really the first time. The other time was like a weird Deadpool. It didn't really count, and that was another problem with Fox. And even Sony, Sony didn't do a bad job with Spider-Mans. I mean, I think a lot of those are the ones with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. They were good, and I don't want to get into all that. But now that they're all together, now like Deadpool and Captain America and Iron Man and Wolverine. Well, spoiler alert: Iron Man's dead. But like they're all together now, and that's what's cool. Like when you read comic books growing up, and I wasn't a big comic book guy, but like all these superheroes interacted with each other, right? It was like the thing, right? It was so cool. Where a lot of these DC movies, it's just like Superman's the main guy, and maybe someone else shows up, but it's just.
I liked a couple of the DC ones. I did look into it, so. You were right. Jack Nicholson was in the original Batman. Danny DeVito came in for Batman Returns, which was the second one. I like both of those. I didn't like any other Batman, though. I thought Daredevil with Ben Affleck was actually not a bad movie. But...
Oh, you're going back. That's an older one. That's like Elektra.
Yeah.
And they brought a lot of those old characters back in the recent Deadpool. Did you see Deadpool?
I've seen Deadpool 2. I haven't seen Deadpool.
Oh, man. Well, Blade, Wesley Snipes is back as Blade.
heard-
I mean, okay. I should be careful.
No,
It sounds like, but Wesley Snipes is back. Is it Carmen? That's not Carmen. It's Elektra, played by Sarah Jessica Parker.
Ew.
Is that who plays it? Oh, man.
I don't think she's a good actress, dude.
I don't.
No,
Maybe that.
and either she looks, and I shouldn't judge her by her appearance, but sometimes she looks really good. It depends on the angle. Then other times I'm like, ugh.
I think her, like, when she, I don't know what, like, it's like she took some more Ozempic or something, and she got thinner than she already was.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Hold on. Jennifer Gardner.
Oh, okay. Okay. No one likes her either, though.
Who was Elektra? Right. Okay. But I
Wait,
don't
Jennifer
know.
Gardner, she's been like typecast as like the mom in every stupid kid movie there is.
The cringeworthy mom, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
she played Elektra with the size way back when Ben Affleck was who, you know, and all that stuff. And then it's funny, Channing Tatum was supposed to play Gambit 10, 15 years ago, and it just got lost in like movie executive production hell and never saw the light of day. And they finally were able to bring, and I'll tell you what, it was such a good, like, not only called a cameo, because he had a decent part in the movie, but like, that they hinted that, like, there's more. Like, we're going to see more. And I'm like, oh, this is great.
Either you are a hardcore comic book fan, or you played the original X-Men video game.
That was me. I wasn't a big comic guy.
I learned about Gambit from the video game because you could throw the cards, it exploded. He was the best character in the game.
Yeah, I loved Gambit.
And so when I heard about him being in the movie, I was like, yes, finally.
So good. So good.
I wasn't sure about how he would do it, because for me, Gambit was always like a really tall, lanky guy, and Channing Tatum was a little stockier.
For sure.
I didn't know if he would fit the character right, but whatever. I'm excited he's in one, and I hope that he gets his own.
Yeah, looks wise, but he nailed the character. Like, it couldn't be more perfect.
I would say, like, honestly, I would have had like an Adrian Brody do that character.
I don't even know who that is.
Really tall, skinny dude with a huge ass nose.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Was he in The Pianist?
Probably the penis.
The Penis. He's part of that federal agency.
He was in. So, like, I don't know if you guys ever watched like the Darjeeling Limited.
No, okay.
You guys are missing out on some good
Listen,
movies.
I'll tell you what. Listen, this is going to be the opposite of what we want. But if you've seen the Darlene Illusionists,
Darjeeling Limited.
leave a comment. Let us know what your favorite part of that movie in the comments below.
Or the second best Grand Budapest Hotel.
Is that a movie or a location?
It's a movie, man. It's a movie.
Did these movies win or were nominated for like film of the year, like for Oscars and shit like that?
Yeah, but here's the thing: they were actually good. So
a lot of them are terrible.
I believe they had the same director because they had that same kind of style of filmmaking, which is unlike a lot of stuff you've probably ever seen. But it was still pretty cool. It was kind of like when Guy Ritchie did Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. It was kind of a different kind of filmmaking thing, but it really worked out for him. Well, whoever this guy was I think he made those two movies, and it really worked out well. I thought they were just entertaining movies. But I also like, I'm weird. I like a lot of different kind of movies like that. But
Some of these, like
He is weird.
the movies that win Oscars, are just like the one year The Artist won. It was like a black and white French film. Like no
They
normal.
nominate themselves.
or,
yeah.
or the one with like the Korean guy or something.
Yeah, like nobody's watching this shit. There was another one that came up. I watched it. So like, by the time the movies come on, so you know the kids go to bed and like say my in-laws are like, let's watch a movie, and it's never a movie I want to see. So I get stuck there, like guilted into it. And the one movie we watched, I couldn't stand it. Was If Beale Street Could Talk. I think it won an Oscar or was nominated. Like it finished.
Who said they wanted to watch that?
My wife and her parents wanted.
Oh, okay. I thought. Okay.
So they put it on, and it's like, so what is that? Like it just wasn't interesting at all. And a lot of those, like The Artist and some of these other films, so they're not movies, they're films.
Sorry, yeah.
It's like they're just being so pretentious and douchey, And like they're just sitting around like jerking each other off. Like, no thanks.
It's got an audience.
Yeah,
different kind of audience. A TV. So I've only watched one episode of this TV show, so I'm hesitant to kind of poo-poo it because when I watched the TV show WandaVision, if you were going to ask me what I thought of it before the third episode, I would have told you it was shit.
Yep. Right there.
And then you got to the third episode and you're like, oh shit.
They should have just started with episode 3.
I get why they did it though.
I mean, I do, but like they could have taken the first like 2 episodes and made them into one, maybe, and we wouldn't have to be drag that out. But yes, 1,000%.
So I'm hesitant to poo-poo this show.
Oh, so that's not the show.
No.
Oh,
no, because I like that show.
Okay.
I really wanted this show to be good.
Ooh.
And I was a little disappointed because it kind of went into like film mode versus entertaining TV show. It's called Interior Chinatown. It's got it's got Jimmy O Yang, who you've probably seen before.
Oh yeah, Jimmy.
He was in.
They can't see my face, can they? Oh, that's right. Sorry.
What was that? And so it's got Jimmy O Yang and Ronnie Chang. So Ronnie Chang, you've heard, they're both Asian comics.
Oh, you don't say.
But they're English. I mean, they're English. They're on the English. They're just Asian descent. It's not like they're Asian. I mean, Ronnie's got a bit of an accent, but whatever.
So you don't like them because they're Asian?
No, I don't like it because of the way they did the show. It's like that filmmaker shit. So like, he's a guy who doesn't want to stay in Chinatown. He wants to get out of Chinatown and do something else, but he's got really no skills. So then like, he's like, oh, I want to be these cops on TV who are out there solving murders. And like, it basically, so then he sees like a girl get kidnapped and then he's working with the police officers because he was a witness to it. But it's really weird because it goes into like part of it's reality and then part of it's like his thoughts and like what he thinks of, like, it's awkward. It's like, no, man, you could have made this like a cool thing about Chinatown. Because there hasn't been a show like that. Like, the only Asian show we got was Fresh Off the Boat, and that's kind of a bit fucked up. But this could have been like an Asian show that was true to Chinatown. You could have the triads and all this shit and all this other, like, but
where's Big Trouble in Little China?
Right, yeah, but I feel like this is a little bit more modern. It was going to be a comedy too.
Oh.
And like, I like both of their comedy.
How many episodes did the show last?
So they release. It's one of those they release the entire season on one day.
Okay.
I've watched one episode, and
is it new? Is it only have one season?
Brand new.
Brand new. All right, so
I'll report back. I want to like it. I wanted to like it.
So you watched one episode and you've already signed its death certificate.
Pretty much. But I know I can't do that because of WandaVision.
Because of Wanda. Oh, that's why. Oh, see, that was.
So I was about to do that with Andor. When Andor, I don't know if you saw Andor.
So you're more of a Star. See, we said we like Marvel. You're into the Star Wars stuff. Yeah. I haven't watched
any of the Star Wars stuff. I'll tell you what, man, I love Mandalorian. Love that. Love it.
So
Andor
didn't watch it.
Andor started slow. I'm like, what is? But then all of a sudden, it's just building up to like, that, and then season 2 when that comes out of Andor. So, and the thing about it is like, you know how a lot of the stuff, the original Star Wars stuff was kind of like, there's some cutesy characters and the Ewoks, and they had stupid Jar Jar Binks and the cute little kid. This to me is what the Star Wars world probably really was, just like gritty and dark and, not space cowboys, but like real people. So I almost wrote Andor off when I was like, I don't know if I can watch it. And it actually got good. So,
all right. Well, listen, I'm going to give you 2 movies that are kind of same but different. Same but different. One, and it all has to do with the ending. One is The Breakup.
Is that Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn?
Vince Vaughn.
Okay.
Ooh, I kind of like that one.
Well, we'll address it in a second. And the other one's Marley and Me.
The book was good.
That's a tough watch.
So, okay. So both of them are ruined by the endings. Mm-hmm. Okay. Different emotional. One's a little bit more emotional. So The Breakup is, you want they don't get back together at the end. Spoiler alert. And you just, the whole movie, you're invested in these two and you're rooting for them to get back together, and then they just don't get back together. It's over. And Marley and Me, I don't know if you've ever seen it. Alex has definitely seen it.
I've seen it, but the book was so much better than the movie.
And, well, listen, nerd, I don't read, okay? So I don't know anything about the book. All I know is I watched that movie one time, and I will never watch it again. And I'm not saying I guess it's not a bad movie, but Jesus Christ. Like, if you have a heart, like, you're crying. You're crying. You're bawling. And I don't want to put myself through that. Well, I was just pissed off at the breakup. But I will never watch Marley and Me again. And never.
I agree.
Never.
I agree.
Once was enough.
And for the same reason.
Right. Well, listen, I've had 2 dogs pass away in the last couple of years, right? They were very old. They lived with Colbert and Toby. Love you. But, like, that was... That movie, like, and at the time, to be perfectly honest with you, I'd never had a pet that passed away. Mm-hmm. So when that emotional response at a Marley and Me was just, I mean, it was just, anyone with a heart would do that. So it's like, now that I've seen that movie, I'll never watch it again. I've had dogs, pass myself. Like, why would you do that? Why would you ever want to put yourself through that again? Like, there's just, I don't even know when it starts turning south. Like, so I'm not even going to say watch the movie and stop watching it at 17 seconds in. Like, just don't watch it. Spoiler alert, Marley dies at the end, and it's rough.
It's like Old Yeller.
It's our generation's Old Yeller.
And so I've never seen Old Yeller.
Old Yeller dies.
You read that book? You ever read the book?
So I'm going to give you another one. A Dog's Journey.
Dog's Journey. That sounds familiar.
You've seen it.
Is it? Oh, yes. Hold on. I think I've seen this before.
It just showed up for you. And then there's the second one, which was A Dog Something.
Wasn't it A Dog's Journey and A Dog's Purpose?
Yes. Both of them are I won't watch them again for the same reason why I won't watch them.
Oh, no. You know what? That came out in 2019. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I saw the writing on the wall on that one, and I was like, nope, not doing it. No, I am not doing it.
Well, that's like The Art of Racing in the Rain, which is another, like, dog movie where the dog dies and I think the wife dies, and everyone, like, I can't watch
too much.
I started reading the book and I knew how it ended. I'm like, I'm not going here. So
what was the name of the movie where the 3 dogs, like, ran across country and made it back home at the end? You know what I'm talking about? The one dog's name was Chase, and they all talked. The dogs talked. Like, it was just really... It's not The Incredible Journey.
A Long Way Home?
No, it's not that. Was it Incredible Journey? Like, that kind of sounds right. So that was a fun movie, right? Because guess what happens in the end? Everyone lives and everyone's happily ever after. Okay? Because I'll tell you this. Besides Infinity War, where Thanos wins at the end, right? We don't like movies that end with the bad guy winning. And even when Thanos won in the end of Infinity War, we knew we knew that it wasn't over yet, right? Marley and Me, no.
Well, Disney needs to keep printing money, so they're gonna.
The dog let Thanos was dead. There's no time stone to bring out that. Did you find it? No, I think it's The Incredible Journey or something like that. I don't know, but anyway, you guys know Chase was like the old dog, like your dog, right? Like it was like a collie or something like that. And one was like, I don't know, but fun movie. That's the type of dog movie that I want to watch, not one where a dog gets cancer, dies, or something like that. Like
that one, I think his stomach turns. And they take him to the vet, and the vet's like, "We got to put him down." Like,
right?
No,
like,
come on, man!
Yeah. Like nobody. Like, jeez, Louise, man! Like, get out of here. So yeah, it's
too much. It was too much. And the sad part was, like, I knew it was probably building up to that as he got older, and then they went to like the literal farm.
Yeah,
it was like, okay, you're putting a little too much effort into this.
And I was an adult. Like, I wasn't a kid. I don't know when the movie came out, but
they had good it was Owen Wilson was in that one. He was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, it's Jennifer Aniston, Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are dead on. You guys are spot on.
So you like happy dog movies like Air Bud?
It's better than the fucking
Air Bud.
Marley
Yes,
and me.
I'll take Air Bud.
I don't gotta watch Air Bud die.
Beethoven, give me some Beethoven, right? Like, I'll take that. But listen,
Turner and Hooch.
yeah, okay, that
Like,
works.
they didn't even do like the montage of him dying. Like they showed you the dog die. Like, come on, man, I don't want to watch
it's
this.
like, like, oh man.
And
I
they
pretty
didn't
much-
bill it like that either. It was billed as like Owen Wilson and Jennifer Aniston and Marley and me. Like, so if you didn't read the book, you didn't know what was coming.
And I, as we know, have
Yeah,
learned.
I think I saw Marley and Me.
Why was the book better?
Books generally are better than the movie.
Okay, but you were like, you couldn't. You were like, man, the book is great.
No, the book is really good because it gets into more.
He reads and shit, too.
Yeah.
Well, it gets into more what? More detail about the dog's death?
No, about the happy dog, the good times.
It goes into how the stomach turns.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I thought that,
Tells you about how he takes his last breaths one by one.
Yeah.
It's good for the masochist in you. If you need that extra bit of twinge
Like
in your
the
life.
book Black Hawk Down is much better than the movie Black Hawk Down, which is an excellent movie. But because-
that's a tough watch too, though.
Black Hawk Down, a lot of those characters were
Black Hawk Down. When they drag those dudes through the street, that's rough to watch.
Yeah, but like it's rough to watch. But like, I didn't cry.
I had emotion.
All right, if you cried,
I-
listen, man. There's no tell us you cried, man.
I cried at Marley and Me. I don't know if I cried during Black Hawk
Listen,
Down.
I didn't just cry at Marley and Me.
That-
Listen, I'm talking about like that ugly cry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you try, and I can remember. I mean, this was 2008. I think I watched it when it was kind of newish, and I think I was watching it with my girlfriend at the time, and we're sitting there, and I think like she couldn't see my face, and so like I don't know how we were sitting, but whatever. And like I'm trying to hold it in the whole time, and
That's when you do one of these. You're like,
I mean,
So there's another one then that you really don't want to watch.
oh no,
It's called Hachi, A Dog's Tale. It could be also Hachiko. I don't know. It's not foreign.
You and these Korean like
No, it's not
movies.
foreign. It's not
Hachi.
foreign. He's one of those.
How do you spell that?
Hachi. He's an Akita dog, so that's why he's got the name Hachi.
Okay,
But it's in America.
Okay,
It's got,
based in Hong Kong. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
I'm
He
like,
started
what?
looking. He's like, wait.
I went back. I was like, it's got what's his face? The guy. I wish I could remember the guy's name. Richard Gere.
Richard Gere.
Yeah. So basically, they adopt this dog, or basically the dog adopts them because he won't leave them alone. Then they basically take the dog in, and the guy goes to the train station to go to work every day. Well, the dog walks with him off leash, sits outside, and then like walks him to work, and he walks back home. Like he's just walking through the town. Mm-hmm. Like no one cares. This off leash dog, right? Walks through town. The hot dog vendor's giving him hot dogs, and he ends up going back home. He goes back to the train station for when the guy comes home from work, and he waits at the train station. Walks home with him, right? Well, the guy gets cancer and dies. Sad part number one.
Ugh.
But then the dog does the same routine, waiting for the guy to come home because the guy never came home. So he thinks if he waits at the train station, the guy's going to come home again. And the dog does it over and over and over again until then I think the dog becomes homeless at some point because the people move and they can't find him or something. Dude, and then the dog dies. Dude, it's the saddest shit you've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm not watching that movie.
No. If you can't stand watching Marley and Me, definitely don't watch Hachi. It's even worse.
I don't
Because the
even-
guy dies and the dog dies. It's like, come on, man.
Oh, jeez. I don't even like I Am Legend
Oh, that's another death thing. I can't do
because the dog. I mean,
Yeah, he has to kill his
as
own
much of a
dog.
hero as he is, like you're rooting for the dog. I'm probably rooting for the dog more than I'm rooting for Will Smith,
Yeah.
right? This character, anyway. And yeah, and I mean, so that's not as bad. I don't think. It's not Marley and Me level.
Go ahead and
like,
watch it then. Wait. I Am Legend?
I Am Legend.
Oh, okay, no, okay.
No,
I think
I'm
the
not
Hachi
telling you,
dog,
I
I
will
think
never
the
watch
Hachi one's
Marley.
rough.
I will never. No, I have no desire to do that. Especially since then I've lost 2 dogs.
Yeah, no, it's
like I have no desire to. I mean, it's like So I don't know.
I was like questioning my own mortality watching that. I'm like, God damn.
You want to go and like volunteer somewhere and like just do some like community out and then like you wake up the next morning you're like, wow, like God, that's over.
Mm-hmm. And the funny part, so like when like the girls want to get a dog, that big fluff ball upstairs, I'm like, nope, don't want to get a dog because I know what's going to happen. Like everyone, then we all got to go through the shit. But of course, I lost the argument, and now we have a dog.
Right.
Happy to see anything. I would say, any dog movie where the dog dies, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, let's just say that. Yeah.
I had to go. All right, I'm gonna just put a whole genre out there, and I'm forced to have it in the house because my wife and my mother love it.
Genre.
Hallmark Christmas movies.
No. They're all awful.
It's the same movie.
It is.
And the funny part is, like, they put out like 6 new ones a year.
Yeah, they're all crap.
But it's the same as the ones they had. Like, why did you just recycle the movies?
Yeah, they're. Ugh.
You paid for production of another movie when you already had that movie.
Yeah.
Because of people like your wife and her mother.
And they watch all of them.
Yeah, the girl comes home from her job as a high-paying executive and sees her old flame, who's like this jacked woodworker, like
Always wearing flannel.
But it turns out that he's also a billionaire. Right. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, no, all those movies I hate. All the Nicholas Sparks movies I pretty much don't like.
Who's Nicholas Sparks?
He's a lady author.
He did The Notebook. Well, I'm going to take it a step further because this TV show was essentially a Hallmark Christmas movie, only in multiple seasons. The Gilmore Girls. Small town. She comes back to the little small town in Connecticut. She hooks up with the rough and gruff guy who owns the diner. It's like
So when I first met my wife in college, I told her that I liked Dawson's Creek.
I remember this story.
So I could go back and hang out with her in her dorm room. So I lied. And then it was only very recently that I told her that I hated that show. She's like, well, you told me you liked it. I was like, yeah, because I want to hang out with you. I was like, I'll suck up Dawson's Creek. Because the show's just so bad. Like, it was high school kids that had the vocabulary of because everyone knew high school. Like, I was a high school kid. I didn't talk like that. High school boys like, duh. Like, they're not, bruh. Skibbity toilet, like that's how they talk. Back then it was other words, of course, but it wasn't like these complex dialogues about angsty themes. Terrible show.
However, without that show, we don't get one of the greatest movies ever.
Oh, what movie is that?
Varsity Blues.
Was Varsity Blues a spinoff?
No.
But all those same actors were in.
Well, it brought us James Vanderbeek.
Yep, and
as the leading man.
Yep.
Fair enough.
And we got Billy Bob, and the really short guy who ended up being in Jarhead, who ended up being in almost every military movie because he had like that southern drawl and was fairly jacked up. I can't remember his name. I always want to call him Brad.
Was Jarhead? I was getting confused because there's Jarhead and Generation Kill. One was a TV show, one was a movie.
Jarhead was the movie. And it had
Generation Kill was
Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
Yeah. That's one of that was a good movie. It's not on my hate movie, it's on my actually.
By the way, the guy with the southern accent who was in every pretty much war movie, Lucas Black.
Okay.
If anyone wants to look him up again. Now I'm looking at Jarhead. Jarhead was a good movie, though. But no, yeah, without Dawson's Creek, we don't give Varsity Blues.
Okay, well, then we have to accept Dawson's Creek.
Clear Mind, Full Hearts. Can't lose.
Yeah, that Dawson's Creek was terrible.
Don't get me wrong. That Varsity Blues movie you watch it now, it's fucking cheesy as hell. But back then, that was the shit.
It was.
And the girl with the fucking whipped cream bikini.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, that.
So I'll give you 2 shows that I liked originally, but didn't like once they replaced a character on the show.
Yeah, I gotta say French Prince of Bel-Air, yeah.
No one cares about that mom.
And Viv was replaced.
I know she was.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I'm going to say 2.5 Men and Roseanne. I love 2.5 Men. I mean, Charlie Sheen made the show. They replaced him with Ashton Kutcher.
Didn't work.
And, I mean, yeah, it wasn't the same show. And they kicked Roseanne off of Roseanne.
They turned it into the Connors.
Because, she was a conservative and not shy about it.
Yeah.
And, they got rid of her. But like both of those shows, great shows, and now like I can't watch them. I couldn't touch them. Like
that was wild with the Roseanne thing. So, what's the girl's name? Who's Darlene?
She's on The View.
Yeah, well, she was. She's the one that produced the show, as well. She's the one that kicked Roseanne out.
And then they brought Dan back, who died.
Right.
But that was all a dream. See, Roseanne, the original one, the first several seasons were really good. And the cool thing about that show was that it was like real people. Like, they weren't beautiful. Like, they were both fat. They were poor. Like
it was the real life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't because that was because prior to that, all the shows were like, the mom is this pretty blonde and the dad's this, wise, aged man. Aged, not Asian, aged. Yeah. Not that anything wrong with he was Asian, but this was the 80s and 90s, so it wasn't. But, like, and like there was no money problems. The kids were all perfect, and like the mom was an attorney, and the dad was an engineer or a doctor. It was just so cheesy. That was the first show where it was like real life.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah,
it was so good. Even as a kid, I appreciated it.
Yeah,
because that's how most people were living back then, though.
Yep. And that was her. The show was all based on her comedy. She wrote all of it.
Yeah.
And the fact that they just kind of took it from her, because they like her politics, that was at the height of. But that was at the height of cancel culture too.
I don't understand though. So without Roseanne, there's no audience though, because the people it's kind of like with Tim Allen when he went and did the Last Man Standing show. That the audience was mostly conservative leaning. Mm-hmm. If you take Tim Allen off that show,
it's nothing.
Your audience is gone because they're watching for him. It was the same thing with Roseanne. They were watching. It was the conservative leaning show, and they were watching for Roseanne because back then, like in the old Roseanne, it was like real life. People were struggling. I mean, back in the 80s, I mean, you're talking interest rates were like 15-16% for a house for mortgages, like. People were struggling back then. It was back when like the Rust Belt was losing jobs.
Yep.
Losing auto plants and shit. Mm-hmm. And like that show dug into all of that.
Yeah.
And it was relatable.
Where were they based out of? It was Lanford what?
Lanford.
That was Ohio, wasn't it?
No, he was a Bears fan.
So
it was Illinois, I think.
Lanford, Illinois.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I could remember them saying Lanford, I couldn't remember.
But and the weirdest thing about they were doing all that woke shit during that show too, was that if you took Roseanne and Dan Connor, and they made them actual people, they're Trump voters. They're the disaffected.
Now they are.
Yeah. Back then they were probably Union Democrats, getting screwed by both sides. But like them now, they're MAGA hat wearing,
Well, and I remember one episode. I don't know why this sticks out at me, but like Jackie, Roseanne's sister, got like beat up by her boyfriend, and Dan finds out. Well, he goes, and they don't show it, but I mean, he beats the shit out of the guy, and then the cops end up coming back, later in the episode to lock him up, right? They kind of like turned it into a joke a little bit about him getting arrested, but I mean, it was real life shit.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't. Not only were they like you said, like just down to earth people, like struggling. Like it was like I'll say it. They were poor. They were lower class.
Oh yeah, working class. Yeah,
they were lower working class.
They owned their home. Like they owned a home. It wasn't huge, but they had enough room for them and the kids. It wasn't this like huge open floor plan type thing that everyone needs now.
Yeah,
it was probably. And every once in a while, they'd open the front door and you could see the rest of the neighborhood. And it was very similar sized houses, like these, like the ranch or Cape style homes. Mm-hmm. And that was relatable.
Yeah.
The kids went to school. Kids hated school. Kids got bullied. Kids didn't get whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. Such a good show, just really good show. And
it was.
Now it's like now they're all old and wrinkly and Roseanne's not on the show, and I honestly, like, I don't even know if I say I hate it. I don't know if I've ever even watched an episode since Roseanne's been off. But I just know.
Yeah, we when that first came back, so I think it came back 2020 or 2021. We'd watch it, and then once Roseanne got the boot, I was like, I'm not watching this anymore. Yeah. And she kept watching it, but I had no interest in it because it's not the same show.
It's the same thing in 2.5 Men. People watched that for Charlie Sheen. The rest of the characters were good. They were cool.
Yeah.
But once Charlie Sheen was off there, it's like...
And then the John Cryer character, though, is annoying as shit. And without Charlie Sheen telling him he's annoying...
Yeah.
It wasn't any good.
Yeah.
And then that fucking kid...
got old and awkward and weird.
Yeah, that kid did get weird.
Well, and then he went into a cult, and now he's saying he wish he never did the show.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, and listen, I'm not blaming Ashton Kutcher. I mean, he just came in, did the best that he could.
Got a paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he was bad. That show was made for Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the Charlie.
And that was
Sheen
Charlie
show.
Sheen when he was like his winning and all that.
Mm-hmm. But he was going through all his shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a shirt that says "Duh winning." Like, I bought into all that. Like, I was like, man, this guy's my spirit animal. You know what I mean? Like, he's just.
I mean, I remember back then, like, people were telling Charlie Sheen he should do this, he should do that. And, like, the funny part was when he was like talking about winning, he was talking about like, why should I do any of this stuff you're telling me to? He goes, I'm living exactly how I want to. He goes, and basically he was like, as long as I show up to work and do the job, no one's got a problem. And so, like, I thought that was pretty interesting.
The one thing I wish that we got out of him and we never did, or at least haven't yet, is another Major League movie. Like, I don't care if he's the manager, right? Because he's so old now, right? But, like, to get the band back together, Roger Dorn, Willie Mays Hayes, like, somehow.
Serrano.
Yes, they can.
You can't recreate that magic.
Yeah.
You want to know who the star that was?
Yeah, what about Ghostbusters Afterlife? Tell me about that. Did you see that?
No.
You didn't see that?
Not yet.
Okay, well, then I won't spoil it for you, but the magic's back.
All I can say, the person who held that movie together and doesn't get the credit was Lou Brown.
Lou, the manager?
Yes.
Well, in the second movie, he was like in the hospital the whole time.
Right, and the movie sucked.
Nah,
the second and third ones were awful. The Back to the Miners bullshit.
Hold on, that doesn't count. No, Back to the Miners doesn't even count.
And
then they come out straight to VHS. Right. Like, I didn't think it went to theater.
But so did, I mean,
so yeah, so we must say terrible movies. Back to the Miners was.
But Major League 2 was god awful too.
Oh, no,
come on, man!
It was like Mighty Ducks 2. They brought in some new players.
Parkman was an awful character.
No, he was the best character.
He couldn't, like, the guy who played Parkman couldn't act.
He was just supposed to be that big grunt, like just dumbass.
And the catcher, the dumb hick boy.
The guy was like he would recite. No, he would recite things out of the Victoria's Secret's catalog.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because it would get his mind off of, hey, I can't throw it back to Fred. Like, it was just, come on, man. That was a fun movie.
Here's the thing. Major League, though, was a realistic premise.
The first one.
Yes.
The
one after that and the after that were just shit premise.
What you want him to do in that second movie? Come on.
Nothing.
Not make it.
You don't make it.
Oh, good movie.
You don't make that movie.
Good movie.
Because the first one was so good.
Charlie, listen, I think he's a fan of the show. I don't know if he's listening. But if you do make the movie, it's got to be the Indians. I don't want to see a change to the Guardians.
Oh,
so, listen, I mean, stand your ground, Charlie.
I think the guy who played Lou Brown's dead, though. You need a Lou Brown. Because Lou Brown kept all of those guys in check. Like, all of his one-liners were gold in that movie.
You just heard that voice,
Nice catch, Ace. Don't ever fucking do it again.
Get in front of the ball, Dorn. You're not out here fighting moles.
You may run like Maze, but you hit like shit.
Oh man, such good line. I mean, you remember after all these years, these stupid one-liners, but
or when they first call him and he's working at the tire store, like, fuck you.
Oh, he didn't think it was yeah.
This shit isn't funny. He fucking hangs up on him. That, I'm telling you, man, I watched that movie. And like the whole part where he's like fucking Dorn's wife and shit like that. Like, cut that shit. You could have cut. And the whole thing where Jake's following the girlfriend or wife to the apartment and all this other shit. All the other shit that was in there.
Well,
Man,
if you got rid of all that
nonsense.
stuff, it'd be a 62-minute
They could have
movie.
added more shit about the baseball team, like the chicken in the clubhouse and Serrano. Like there was so many other things they could have added in there to make or add more characters you could have made fun of. They had so many B characters in that thing that just kind of walked around with their fucking ass out. You could have made those into characters and got rid of all the fucking lovey-dovey shit.
Yeah, there were some good Roy supporting characters. I remember the starting pitcher of that last game was like a real old guy. I can't remember. Yeah,
Eddie Harris?
Was it Eddie Harris?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm impressed.
We're going to go with Harris. He's got a bit more experience in games like these.
Yeah.
Eddie Harris was amazing in that. He's the one when he stole Jobu's rum, walks out on the field, gets hit with a baseball bat. Fuck you, Jobu.
Well, in the second one, didn't they have a goofy guy that got like
The Japanese
stuck?
dude.
No.
Taka Tanaka?
No.
There
was a guy that got like stuck in the equipment cage like the entire final game, and he was like stuck in there. He was like
The guy who was in the movie with Henry Rowan Gardner.
Yes, he was in that.
He was the
movie.
pitching coach, or the manager. I forgot what he was.
Wait, am I mixing these movies up?
No, yes.
I am.
Yeah, he wasn't in Major League.
No, he was that one. Yes,
the movie that happened was what was it?
Oh my God! Don't hold that against me.
It's not Angels in the Outfield.
No, it's Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Oh wow. Sorry, I apologize. I just remember that scene. I was like, that was Major League, right? It was a baseball movie.
But how cringy is it when the mom goes, "Float it"? Like, oh fuck.
And I'll tell you what, the batter in that is a more comedic version of who was the Major League guy? Who was the bad guy, the batter in Major League went up against?
The guy with
Portman.
No, Parkman was
Dean
in the second
Parkman.
one.
Dean Parkman.
The first one was the other.
In Rookie of the Year, that like dumb huge guy was basically just another version of Parkman.
We're just completely leaving out Bob Uecker in the original.
Oh man, Bob Uecker, man. So just a bit outside.
Or when that guy from the Yankees gets up, leading the league in most categories, including nose hairs.
And out by an eyelash at third. We just never seem to get the close one. That was, and honestly, there was a lot of movie stars in there, but like, and if I can be honest with you, my first introduction to Bob Uecker was not sports, and I don't think it was that movie either. He was a father on a TV show. What was that movie? Was it Mr. Belvedere?
I don't know. I know he did the Milwaukee Brewers play-by-play for years before he did that movie. Let's see, Bob Uecker.
Yep, Bob Uecker played George Owens on Mr. Belvedere. Mr. Belvedere, played by George Hewitt. Died August 3rd, 2001. May he rest in peace. But that Mr. Belvedere was so it's funny. So like for me, when I saw Bob Uecker in the sports, in the play-by-play announcer, whatever you want to call him, like I'm like, oh, that's the guy from Mr. Belvedere, right? Because I was young, like what team was he?
Milwaukee Brewers.
Right. So like I wasn't a Milwaukee Brewers fan, right? So how would I know who this guy was? So I was like, oh, it's the guy from Mr. Belvedere. It turned out like he was good at what he was doing in that movie because that's what he does for a living. Very weird that I wonder if he was still doing the Brewers commentary while he was the father on Mr. Belvedere. That's interesting.
I'm not sure. I think one of the reasons why they found him was because I think they filmed Major League at County Stadium in Milwaukee. And I think that's how I think they knew about him from that because he was announcing Brewers games at the time, I think. But I don't know, I could be wrong. Let us know if you've got a movie or TV show that you hate. Put it down in the comments if you're allowed to. depending on when you're listening.
Oh, real quick, The View sucks.
Oh.
I meant to sneak that. I was trying to sneak that in, so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But yeah, fuck The View.
I didn't know that had to be said.
I just want to make sure that everyone's aware.
It's synonymous.
Synonymous.
They're calling Whoopi sommelier.
Oh, yeah, right?
Because of her thing about the bakery.
And then she's trying to say, oh, we called later, and they still, with a different name, and they say, oh, get the fuck out of here, man. And I'm glad everyone's rallying around that bakery up there. I don't remember the bakery's name, but...
Holtzman's?
Holtzman's, yeah. Shout out
Staten
Holtzman's.
Island?
Staten Island, that's right.
I'll never go there, but hope you do well.
Yeah, hope you do well.
If I ever find myself unlucky enough to be on Staten Island,
I'm going to go there just to buy some. Just buy a cookie.
You can shoot me before I get on the ferry.
Screw her, man. Sorry, Alex, go ahead.
Nah, The View has enough bad talking points. So Whoopi's getting sued probably. Sunny
hope so.
Sunny Hostin she had to do a hostage video about a retraction about what she said about Matt Gaetz because she just fucking lied right on camera. Literally within 3 minutes, they went to commercial. They came back and she did the fucking hostage video saying Matt Gaetz did not do this stuff and he was proved innocent in a court of law. Dude, she looks like a hostage in that video. She's like,
is she blinking in Morse code?
I've seen it. I've seen it. It's hilarious.
Like that show couldn't be further from trash, but they just keep putting it out there because it gets eyeballs. It's the new Oprah. It's what the white suburban women watch.
I've listened, and I say that I don't think I've ever watched an episode. I see clips, but I've never watched an episode. I never will. It's literally the worst. It's a bunch of liberal women who just complain about oppression of other people that they don't really have any knowledge of.
While making millions of dollars.
Yeah, while making millions of dollars, and then they want to shit all over a fucking local bakery. It's been open since 1902.
The thing is, I don't even consider them to be liberals. I consider them... So I have now officially separated liberal from Democrat. Democrats have become a cult. Liberals, I mean, shoot, what's left of them? They voted for Trump.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because, I mean...
Even Biden voted for Trump.
You know the weird thing? Trump's probably got more Democrats in his cabinet than any actual Republican would ever be comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to figure what RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, and I'm sure there's a couple more I'm not thinking about, but, I mean, Donald Trump himself was a Democrat in the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild. It's almost like Donald Trump played the most brilliant game of chess to get Democrats, like actual liberal Democrats, elected by running for the GOP. And the funny part is, back in the 90s, when he said, if I were ever to run for president, I'd run as a Republican because they're the dumbest people on earth. Well, he's almost kind of right because he got Republicans and liberals to vote him into office.
Listen, I don't read as many books as Mike, so because calling me dumb.
No, but he basically got all these GOP voters who are conservative principles and all this other stuff to vote for pretty much an entire Democrat-run government right now.
It's true.
It's strange, right?
Yeah.
But on the flip side of it, though, the populist left and the populist right, it's almost like a new party where, okay, we're going to put aside the Second Amendment and we're going to put aside abortion. Right. Each one's going to put aside these big issues because we agree on almost everything else. And we might not have the same idea on how to put it all together and how to make it work, but we're going to work together and make it work because none of these other assholes are doing it, right? Mm-hmm. It could be the biggest mind fuck of the entire U.S. history if that's what he does.
I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, it's something different. And if it sucks, we only got 4 years to put up with it.
Yeah.
And then we move on. But if you don't like a show, going back to that, let us know in the comments. Send us an email, contact drivewaybeerspodcast.com. Thank you to our sponsor, Douglas Realty. Adam will take care of you. Adam Chubbuck will take care of you at tacmd.com. Rate us. Like us. We'll see you next time.
Love you guys.